Hey everybody, how y'all doing? This is Steve coming at you. Hope you're having a great day. Just wanted to touch base with you really quickly. There's something that's been on my heart and a question I've been wanting to ask. You know, watching all the protests and watching the riots and the looting, and I'm glad that stuff is kind of tamped down a bit, but from the very beginning, with all the protests and the riots and the looting and the whole Black Lives Matter mantra, the question I'm curious about is, do all Black lives matter? Or do only certain Black lives matter? And what I mean by this is this. George Floyd, who was murdered, I mean, let's just call it what it is. He was. The police, who supposedly were sworn to protect and serve, took him out. And it was horrific to watch the video. And it was wrong, and I honestly don't care almost what he did. And he apparently was in the wrong, writing a bad check or trying to pass counterfeit bills, drugs in the system. At the point where they had his knee on his neck, the man can breathe. I'm sorry, you're wrong. Now, the police were called because of something he allegedly did, and that's what led to all this. But it was wrong to take him out in that way, especially. But he's had 4 that I can remember, 4 nationally televised memorial services. Minneapolis, I think there was one in Houston, I think there was one in Atlanta or in New York, and the most recent one yesterday was nationally televised in North Carolina, where I believe he was from before he lived in Houston. And in that time, this gentleman who the police took out due to a call they got based on the way he was acting and something he was trying to do, has had 4 nationally televised memorial services. However, a black gentleman named David Dorn, who was a retired police chief in St. Louis, Missouri, spent his time giving the youth and helping them try and help underprivileged youth. Father of 5, married, had a buddy who owned a pawn shop, responded to the burglary alarm at the pawn shop, trying to stop the looters, was shot and killed, died in the street trying to save that pawn shop from looters. And according to the video I've seen, the looters that got into the pawn shop are all black. So I guess what I want to understand is, do only certain Black lives matter? Or do Black lives only seem to matter based on the color of the perpetrator who took the life? So if a white person or a non-black person takes the life of a black male or female, does that add value to that life more so than when black kill other blacks? So the fact that David Dorn, who I haven't seen one memorial service for yet, was killed, especially not nationally televised, was killed by looters, even though the man had 30 years of service, pillar of the community, 5 children, leaves behind a wife and 5 kids, helped underprivileged youth. Seemed to be a very upstanding guy, also black, but because his perpetrators weren't white, we're not screaming and crying and pulling out our hair and breaking stuff and breaking into things and burning things down for him. And I have a problem with that, because what it's basically saying is that a black life only seems to have value if a white person takes the life. So a black life's value is based upon the value the white person assigned to it before taking it. Not only is that racist, it's incredibly demeaning, because as far as I'm concerned, my life has value. My life matters. My children's lives have value. Their lives matter to me. Regardless of who came after any of us, the color of the person, the background of the person would not matter to me whatsoever. And so I'm not into oppression politics. I am not a person who feels oppressed. I am not a person who is oppressed. I don't understand people who want to feel that way or live that way or be that way. But if Black lives matter, then they should all matter, no matter who the perpetrator is. That's just my thought on it. Same thing was true a few years ago, 4 years ago, with a young child named Tyshawn Lee. Look it up. Tyshawn Lee was from Chicago. Dad was a gangbanger, belonged to a rival gang, where apparently someone in that rival gang, don't know if it was the dad or not, apparently took out the brother of a gangbanger in another gang named Corey Morgan. Corey Morgan, didn't appreciate that. He conspired with a guy named Dwight Doty, to get back at Tyshawn Lee's dad. And the way they got back at him was that Tyshawn Lee's at the park playing basketball. Doty grabs a basketball, kind of acts like he's befriending Tyshawn. Say, hey man, you're pretty cool. Get some ice cream. Got some ice cream in the car here. I'll give you one. So Tyshawn follows him back to the car. He's 9 years old. These two 25-year-old men, he's 9 years old. They get him in the alley where the car is. Dwight Doty then unloads 7 rounds at point blank range into a 9-year-old child's chest, leaves him for dead in the alley with a bloody basketball. I don't remember hearing one protest from Black Lives Matter about that. Not one. 9-year-old child died in an alley, alone, scared, for something his parents did. Supposedly his parent was involved in, and he had to die. Make that make sense. And not one, I don't remember hearing one Black Lives Matter. Now maybe it happened and I just didn't read about it or hear about it or see about it, because the information I got was from BET, Black Entertainment Television. I don't remember seeing one Black Lives Matter march, one Black Lives Matter protest, nothing for this child. So I haven't seen this, just like I haven't seen it for David Dorn, 30-year veteran of the police force, upstanding man in his community. I don't remember seeing one protest or one even statement from Black Lives Matter about David Dorn's death and how he died. And for all these people who are caping up and making excuses for the rioters and the looters and saying they're just giving voice to the way we're feeling, you're part of the problem. You're ignorant and you're part of the problem. We got to stop caping up for the lowest common denominator of our people. We got to stop doing that. There is no excuse for looting, especially or rioting, especially if you didn't know George Floyd. I could see if you knew him personally, how that pain might lead you to do something irrational. But if you didn't know him, you don't deserve other people's stuff. And you don't deserve free stuff just because you felt harmed by what took place. I felt harmed by what took place. I didn't go take nobody else's stuff, because I have common sense and I was raised better than that. So we got to stop this whole facade. If Black Lives Matter, they should matter all the time, no matter who the perp is. And if they don't, then all you're saying is our lives only have the value white people assigned to them. And I'm not living in that world with you. If you want to live in that victim mentality world where your life only has value due to white folks, you rock that deal. I'm not with you on that. I'm not going to ride with you on that. My life has value. My family's life has value. The people I care about lives have value simply because they do. It doesn't matter who assigns that value to it. God assigned the value. So that's good enough for me. And with that, guys, that's all I wanted to share with you. I want this stuff to stop. For those of you who are not paying attention, because you're all caught up in your feelings, you're all caught up in the emotional moment, you need to sit back and pay attention. You are being misled, hoodwinked, led astray, bamboozled. Open your eyes and pay attention to what's actually going on. And learn to evaluate so that you be prepared. If you like what I said, guys, please leave a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, that's cool. You can give me a thumbs down, leave a comment. Either way, please subscribe, share the video, get it out there. The channel's been growing. Really appreciate the recent growth of the channel. I look forward to talking to y'all again soon. I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.